Hey everyone, and welcome to our Q&A presented by Just Love. My name is Paula Jane and I'm talking to Judy Carroll. Judy is an internationally known author. Her books include The Zeta Message, Human by Day, Zeta by Night, Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth, Lessons in History, and her two most recent books, both Kindle editions and both also available in German, An Interview with an Alien, Comments by an Undercover ET, and Cosmic Spirituality, Blending Religion and Science in Oneness from an Off-Planet Perspective. Hi Judy.
Hi Paula, hi everyone.
In our last episode, we talked about a number of things. We started out talking about your book, An Interview with an Alien, Comments by an Undercover ET, which we will continue with today. You've explained previously to us that the inspiration for you to write this book was to cast a light from your dual soul perspective on the original book, Alien Interview by the editor-author Lawrence Spencer.
Yes, Paula, as I said before, reading the original book was quite an emotional experience for me because some of the information is extremely accurate and was information not generally being put out back then. An example was some of the grey bodies, or containers as they call them, are not necessarily biological, and that the soul consciousness simply places itself into the container, just as down here we get into our car. I understand and know this from my off-planet perspective, but nobody else was talking about it down here back then, at least not as far as I know. I think Lawrence Spencer's book, Alien Interview, was published around 2007. At the same time, I was not impressed with other information contained in it. In fact, some is just plain rubbish. As a dual-soul Earth-human grey, this really worried me because I could see how very confusing, upsetting and misleading it could be for readers. I know the book has a wide following, having been translated into several languages, and I've also had a number of people ask me about it. What worried me was that I could see quite a lot of mind manipulation and fear-mongering scattered through it.
So the ET character in the book is introduced as L, and according to the editor-author Lawrence Spencer, who claims to be quoting from notes put together by a military nurse by the name of Matilda McElroy, L is the name of a Grey ET survivor of the Roswell crash, who was taken captive by the military.
Yes, this is the gist of the story, that Elle was a survivor of the Roswell crash, and the military nurse, Matilda McElroy, was the only one who could communicate with her, as all communication was telepathic. As far as I can tell, this aspect is basically correct because, yes, there was a survivor and there were communication difficulties. This is portrayed in the book, and what Elle is trying to express at the beginning is basically correct, but the interpretations put on it by the nurse, Matilda, are not all that accurate.
So we're talking about Al, who claims to be from a highly advanced off-planet culture, which she refers to as the Domain Forces. She survived for several weeks and during this time gave out information on her own culture and also on the history of Earth.
Yes, and as I've said, some of this information is surprisingly accurate and some right off the mark. If the book is based on truth, then quite a lot of disinformation has been injected into it. As we've spoken about before, there is a group down here that I refer to as the Planetary Controllers, who are using means such as this book and many other sources of information to interfere with the major planetary shift that humanity is passing through right now.
So just to highlight, we spoke about how vital it is for humanity to get through this shift and at the same time acknowledging that Earth is a free will planet. So humanity has to do this on their own. No one else can do it for us. Spiritual growth and evolution are very personal choices that must come from within.
Yes, definitely. The genuine ETs cannot and will not come here and fix everything for us. It's humanity itself that has to do this. As I said before, even if the ETs could break protocol and come here and fix everything with the flick of a switch, if humans themselves cannot get their act together, in a very short time we'd be right back to square one again. It's our waking up to how badly we've been manipulated and brainwashed that is the catalyst for our evolution as a human species. It just defies belief how so many people get sucked into the lies and rhetoric of certain political figures, and also others down here putting disinformation up online in interviews. Even many who claim to be psychic just cannot seem to pick up on the energy fields around these ones. As my Grey teacher Maris always advises, don't just listen to or read the words, try to feel and sense into the energy behind the words.
Yeah, for sure. That's great advice. I also wanted to highlight here what you said in our last episode, that to be able to understand the bigger picture, we need to acknowledge the fact that none of us are our physical body. In the greater reality, we are pure soul, spirit, energy consciousness that happens to be making use of a physical body for the span of a lifetime, and that includes ones like Elle as well as us.
Yes, this is vital information that really needs to be understood. Our physical 3D body is just a vehicle, a container through which we, a pure soul consciousness, can experience physicality, and this applies throughout the whole universe.
Judy, you also highlighted something else in our last episode that is so important for us as we move through this planetary shift, and it is also one of the main teachings that Elle puts out. She said, in the greater reality, we are all one, and this includes Earth humans along with people from many other planetary cultures, including the Greys. In other words, all of us are way more than our physical body. We are all part of universal consciousness, and as such, all part of oneness.
Yes, and this applies to everyone in the whole universe. We are all an intrinsic part of this universal consciousness, no matter what our physical container or body looks like. At soul level, we are all one, no matter what planet we live on.
All very inspiring and uplifting messages and information to take on board. However, like you were saying in our last episode, there is also this negative group down here making use of what Dr. Stephen Greer calls programmed life forms, or PLFs. These are used to fool people in the faked MyLabs military abductions, which are part of the military hybrid program, running counter to the genuine ET hybrid program.
Yes, there are, and this is deliberately causing a great deal of negative propaganda, hatred and fear to be put out against the genuine Greys, such as the Zetas, blue-grey Arcturians and other grey cultures who are only here to help. The legitimate hybrid program is a positive exchange of genetics and knowledge, fully supported by the universal governing body with which the genuine Greys are fully aligned. It has been put in place to assist the Greys to recover from a serious mutation that affected their culture eons ago, and to assist Earth plane humanity to awaken more of their conscious awareness now, which is a prerequisite for further evolution. Just to remind everyone, the Greys who were affected were an Earth human culture back on this planet many millennia ago, who came up against the same inner Earth group that is again threatening our future here on Earth. We need to stand united against this.
So like you said, there are actually two hybrid programs going on. There's the legitimate one being carried out by the Greys with assistance from other ET groups such as the Palladians, Syrians and the Arcturians. Then there's the MyLab one, which is reflecting the positive, genuine one, but on a much lower frequency timeline, hence all the confusion that's going on. The fake one uses their own program life forms, the PLFs, which resemble the genuine Zetas, as well as holographic imagery of prominent people on Earth who everyone knows, to make people believe that they are involved. This causes a great deal of confusion, shock and doubt, along with deep sadness and anger, and a sense of wanting to just give up on life. This negative emotion then feeds the controllers.
Yes, don't forget, the controllers feed off the emotion of fear, hence all the major fear-mongering going on. Earth plane humanity is providing a real banquet for them at the moment.
Unfortunately, yes, this is so true, with many fear-oriented scenarios being played out. So everyone, if you'd like to read more about all of this, I'd like to remind you all that Judy's books are available from Amazon, or you can go directly through Judy's website, which is included in the link below. And if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your family and friends and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, sending you all much love, and thank you all so much for listening, and bye for now.